welcome to The Curling Show, the podcast that brings you interviews with the sport's top athletes and the people who shape the game. I'm Dean Gemmel, and in this edition, we talk to a player from a team headed to the next Capital One Grand Slam, the Masters in Saskatoon, hoping to find some way to at least threaten to stop Team Kevin Martin from winning their 6th in a row. The longtime third for Team Pat Simmons, currently number 9 on the Asham World Curling Tour money list, Jeff Sharp, welcome to The Curling Show.
Hi, Dean. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Jeff, we're officially into the second half of the curling season, so give me your assessment of your team's performance in the first half.
Well, I guess we're satisfied with where we did this in the first half. We aren't quite where we were last year this time, but it was our first full year, I guess, so far with our new second Jerry Adam from last year, in the middle of last year there. So we had a lot of learning to do as a team yet, and we still, the first half was a good learning season for us. We had some ups and downs and qualified in a lot of events and did well early, and then sort of qualified in a lot of events to finish the season, but we couldn't really top it up with a big win. So we've been working on that.
Hey, you mentioned the Jerry Adam, your first full year with Jerry. Let's talk about your team for a moment. While you and Pat have remained constant, your front end has changed over the last few years, and your team has always seemed close but not quite able to break into that elusive top 4 or 5. Has it been a bit frustrating not to be able to keep a lineup intact? It has. It has been a little bit, but it's been pretty neat that way, because I've gotten to make a bunch of different new friends that way, with new curlers on our team all the time, and so it's good that way. But yeah, it has been tough because we have to relearn everybody. Everyone has to relearn their roles and learn about how everyone likes to curl and likes to feel before games and during games, and what to say to people, what not to say to people, and just got a little tendencies that each player has. Pat has to learn and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a little frustrating that way, but we're very happy with our teammates right now. I think we have the right mix of players on our team. So just a matter of we've been working on those fine-tuning issues. We've actually talked about that ourselves, why we haven't broken into the top 5 kind of thing in the last 3 years, and what we need to do. And we've been working really hard on that actually this last couple of weeks. So when you talk about that, what has been said?
Well, we're we can beat the Martins, Furbies, and those guys 1 out of 3 times, and they'll beat us 2 or 3 times right now. So the top 5 teams. So what we've talked about is we have to do things differently. We can't do what we've been doing and expect better results. That's like one of the sayings out there, but it's true. So we have to become mentally stronger. Probably what else? I don't know. We're just practicing better. We're learning how to practice better.
How much do you guys get to practice as a team? Because you don't all live you live in different cities, right?
Yeah, that might be one of the reasons why too that we haven't broken in the top 5 is we all live in different cities except for Steve and I. So we don't practice that often. We get together the odd time on a weekend, have a good 2 or 3 practice day kind of thing, and the odd time on a weekday we'll get together once a month maybe for a practice. But other than that, we practice on our own. Steve Laycock and myself practice together, and Jerry will practice on his own with the ice maker in Yorkton, and Pat will practice with his wife in Moose Jaw, Regina, and so yeah, that's been an issue. We have to become more consistent. Like, we'll play really great one game, and then just an average or B game the next game kind of thing. And physically stronger, I think, is one thing we've talked about, becoming physically stronger, so we can physically stronger, you'll be mentally stronger in the end. The biggest thing too is communication, sweepers communication, and line calling communication. That's one thing that we really are working on the last couple of weeks here, getting better systems in place. I don't know. We've talked about things about being too predictable, trying to become less predictable as a team.
In terms of shots you call or
strategy, how we act on the ice. We don't want to be predictable Team Simmons and know what to expect. We want to maybe change that up a bit now, and we want to compete better. We often play well, but we're just not competing as good as we should be. It's hard to sort of put that into words, but
right.
We want to be able to compete better and not just play well.
Well, and you did talk about the changes in the lineup. Well, Jerry and Steve, I think, are great throwers. The dynamic is certainly different than Ben and Chris. I mean, you've gone from a couple of fiery guys to a couple of guys who aren't as fiery on the ice, and I'm not saying that's bad or good. It's just markedly different.
Yeah, and that's something that's, like Ben and Chris brought good things to our team, and and negative things that didn't work with our team, and that would have been straightened out if they would have stayed in Saskatchewan and stuff. But they did bring good things to our team, that fieriness, that competitive edge, and then when they left, moved away or whatever, we lost that, and that's kind of what we're talking about, getting that competitive edge, becoming more competitive on the ice, kind of thing, a little more aggressive maybe.
Maybe you need one broom breaker. Is that right?
Yeah.
I think every team, whether the guy breaks a broom or not, they need one guy who's considering it anyways.
Yeah, I think Steve's taken on that role. He
has he?
Put a few just recently, starting too. He's put a few brooms to the test.
All right.
In a good way. It's kind of funny. We laugh at him after.
Yeah, he's not quite proficient enough to really fully bust them yet.
Yeah, not quite. He tries. But he pulls back last second, I think.
Hey, your playdowns are underway everywhere, and as usual, it seems there's no system that can please every curler. For years, I've heard that the Saskatchewan format was about as popular as anyone out there, but this year it seems the guys from Prince Albert are all fired up about it. First, why is there suddenly so many teams from Prince Albert, and why such a decline in Saskatoon?
I'm not sure. I don't know what the answer is about that. Prince Albert is actually it's a growing city. They've got a lot of resources up there, so. Maybe a lot. Could be just the economy is getting hotter up there, and people are moving there. I'm not sure. And the club is probably doing all right there. It's a number of curlers. It's an issue that they've had in women's curling too in the past, and still do, where the spots to northerns and southerns aren't equal, distributed evenly. Like Saskatoon used to get 4 spots. Regina used to get 4 spots, and we used to have like 150 teams playing for 4 spots, and then you get PA might used to get only 20 spots, 20 teams for 2 spots kind of thing, and it wasn't very even back then. And then now it's the reverse has changed. Now Saskatoon can't get enough teams, and they still get lots of spots, and PA has a bunch of teams and only 1 or 2 spots kind of thing. So I think they're in the process of making some changes for next year, but it's too late to do it now. That's all, and it's a guess of how many teams are going to enter these regions. But what they did in ladies now. And I still don't think it's perfect yet, but what they've sort of ratioed out all the regions, so the more teams you get, the more spots you get, kind of thing. So it's a reverse of what it was 10 years ago.
Right. It's pretty.
Yeah. So so now the PA is getting the bad end of the stick now.
I think you could write a headline every year about someone complaining about regional representation and any play down anywhere, but. Hey, do you think it might be too? I mean, Prince Albert doesn't have sort of teams like maybe yours. And where does Jordison play out of? Actually, I'm not sure.
He plays out of Regina.
Oh, Regina. But I mean, I think the gulf between the top teams and the sort of good club teams is wider than ever before. And maybe some of the teams don't want to face, say, you or Jordison.
Yeah, that's well. I don't know. If that's
I don't think you want to go there, probably, right?
Well, I don't even know if that's the case because the way we have in Saskatchewan now is the top 3 World Curling Tour teams in points. You take your top 4 finishes. Oh,
that's right. You guys are in, aren't you?
Yeah, and we get in, and Dorson got in that way.
Yeah, it was a dumb point on my part. Then they don't even have to face you.
Yeah, which is good because it opens up more spots. If we don't, if we do go into a region like we've been going to Davidson in the past, and we've managed to win a spot the first 2 years out of there, kind of thing, and. That took a spot away from someone else, kind of thing. So now that we're gone and got qualified through here, and there's a total of 6 teams that qualify because there's also 3 teams from the SAS Tour qualified. So it opens up more spots in the region playdowns. So I don't know if that has anything to do with PA.
Your team for a sec again. Pat seems to get a ton of respect from players and fans of the game, almost to the point where the rest of your team gets less. I'm not sure it's fair, but there's a feeling maybe out there that your team goes as far as Pat takes you. Does that ever bother you?
I don't think it bothers me. I never really noticed that before, actually.
Maybe I'm just, again.
Yeah, well, that could be out there. No, Pat's a great curler.
I mean, Pat is an awfully great shooter, and I think that's the case whenever you see a guy like that.
Yeah, he is by far one of the best curler I've held a broom for ever. I mean, the best thrower, and he's just getting better. Like his touch is coming better even this year. He's becoming more of a touch curler now too. So. It's he's really good. So I don't know. I don't know. It's curling's still a team sport. So I don't know if that's. I'm not too worried about it.
All right. Hey, you're a former Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce. I guess you work for the Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce, and you seem to bleed Saskatchewan green. What about curling in your province? It seems like it's declined a little bit over the years, and do you see it getting better or what?
Well, I've kind of talked about this a few times in the past, and I think it might be linked to a little bit to our exporting of people.
Right.
In the past, I mean, we have exported a lot of great curlers to other provinces. I mean,
2 from your team.
Yeah, just recently. Yeah, but I mean, you look back in the past. I believe Walchuk's from Saskatchewan originally, and there's lots of curlers that are from Saskatchewan and moved and have played on good teams like Rick Folk. I mean, there's so many. I can't name them on the top of my head right now, but there's so many that have left the province.
Sherry Madaw.
Now went on to win, Canadian titles in other provinces with other teams, and so we've lost those curlers. And so I think now that maybe the Saskatchewan economy is booming, give us 10 years and we'll be right up there with the Alberta province in terms of number of people to put together more good teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's been part of it. I think it might be an economic turnaround leads to a curling turnaround.
I hope so, but in general, too, the number of competitive teams out there has declined because of the stretch between the club curling and the competitive teams and how much work you got to put into it now to remain competitive.
Right.
So,
yeah,
I mean, that's just going to be a natural evolution, I think. The rest of the world is growing in their competitiveness, and Canada is declining. I think it's going to level out eventually to a point where it's the same all over the world kind of thing.
You think so? I think actually Canada is separating itself a bit from the rest of the world.
Like
I think the top 5 teams in Canada, even the top 15 teams, are really separating themselves. From
yeah, currently I'd say that currently, but in terms of competitive curling numbers, entries and stuff like that, entries into playdowns.
Yeah, I mean my U.S. friends won't like me saying that, but some of them have said it as well. So.
Yeah, well, you guys are growing in curling clubs.
Yeah, we are. We're growing
and
numbers.
We're declining.
Wise. Yeah, we just need facilities.
So I think, and you're putting more money into curling now, and supporting your teams a little better probably. So I think you're going to be catching up to us eventually, but Canada's been also putting more money into curling now too to try to keep ourselves ahead. But you're growing at least in your club curling level.
The nice thing down here is we don't have the baggage that curling has a little bit in Canada that still has to overcome. The baggage that it was an old man sport or whatever else.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
If it grows in the U.S., there would be a good thing for Canada because it might erase that baggage here.
Well, I'd love to see you here for a Grand Slam in the tri-state area one day, so we'll see.
Well, I guess with this new Capital One, the sponsorship of the Grand Slams, they're looking worldwide at Grand Slams. They want to have I guess in the future they want to have some out of Canada, even in Europe.
Well, they got to bring it to the New York area. I mean, they got to come to New York. But anyways. Hey, talking to Grand Slams, the next one starts in Saskatoon on January 23rd. Has that event managed to capture the attention of your hometown?
It's starting to now. There's lots of ads in the paper, and there's some more excitement. I guess they're ahead of schedule in terms of targets for ticket sales for where they want to be, which is good. I'm a little worried because of the facility that they're using, the Credit Union Center in Saskatoon here. It's about a 12,000 seat arena. It's a pretty big arena, so they're probably going to try to fill up the lower bowl as much as possible, kind of thing. But it's a big arena, so it's a little scary. But it's going to be really neat to be in there.
Are you looking forward to playing in front of your hometown fans again?
Oh yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. Trying to put a stop to the Martin team.
Yeah, well, they're on quite a run. It's exciting to watch. It'd be exciting to see new faces in there against them. I mean, I'm sort of torn. I love to see great streaks, but I'd also love to see. I'd like to see newcomers in there as well. So.
Yeah, well, we someone's got to stop him here, so we're hoping to be the team. He's 5 in a row. That's an amazing achievement if you compare that to any other sport at this level, this caliber. That's like a Tiger Slam kind of thing. You can compare it to that, but it doesn't get the media attention that the Tiger Slam would. But
it's quite.
It's a big achievement, and it may never ever happen again. So
yeah,
I never the mind. We want to put a stop to him as soon as possible here.
Yeah. A lot of people may not recognize how big it is until years from now when they start to get a sense of the level of curling in these Grand Slams. But I think once the slams still have to capture a bit more attention, but boy, the curling is great.
Yeah, you can't ask for better teams to play against and better ice, and just a better way they treat the curlers and the fans. It's growing. And with the new sponsorships we're getting for these slams, it's going to be even better and better, bigger and better every slam.
All right, Jeff, we end with the run back. I give you a topic. You give me your thoughts in 1 to 3 words.
Okay.
Jerry Adams' steadfast commitment to the mustache.
We almost had him talked into shaving it for charity.
Oh, and during November there.
Well, no, he wasn't ready at that point. I almost had him talked out of it for the slam, this coming up slam, but I think that's going to be maybe next year thing now.
I think he's got to stick with it, man. He's come this far.
He can grow it back, but
yeah, I'll bet he can, probably in a day or two.
He's had it since he was 10, I think.
Well, Brent Lang told me Glenn Howard started growing a mustache in grade 13, the old last year of high school in Ontario, so I just love the idea of a guy with a mustache in high school. Finding good coffee on the road.
Terrible.
You can't find it. They don't have good coffee in the players' lounges, do they? You have to bring some.
Oh, sometimes they do.
This is your open-ended chance for a plug for your employer.
Yeah, that's right. Colony Coffee. Yeah, unfortunately, we're only in Saskatchewan, so don't see my coffee too many other places.
All right, Yorkton, Saskatchewan.
Oh, it's actually I love growing up there. That's where Jerry lives, and Steve Laycock and myself grew up, and it's a thriving town, thriving city in Saskatchewan.
The return of Randy Wojtowicz to the winner's circle.
Yeah, he's one of those veterans that just doesn't. He won't go away. He's so talented. He's one of the smartest curlers in Saskatchewan. So it's good to see him still going out there.
I like to see witches in Saskatchewan. Burton Cummings and the Keats Patch at the Winnipeg Briar.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Burton Cummings, man. I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one. I know he's from Winnipeg, but...
Well, he'll get the certain crowd. That's good.
Well, yeah, but doesn't the Briar already get that certain crowd?
I guess it's got to cater to them.
We might skew a little younger. But anyways, it's only one night. But I do like Burton Cummings, actually.
That's
but anyways.
a good mix, I guess, at the Briar. They usually mix it up with country one night and oldies and
I think black pudding one night is what they really need, but no one's called me about it. And finally, the Continental Cup.
The Continental Cup. Well, I'd love to play in that someday.
Oh,
I think it'd be a blast. I think it's a totally different atmosphere than what curlers are normally used to.
Okay, step back for a minute though. As a fan of television, curling on television, what would you think watching 8 hours of that? Come on.
I don't know.
Excruciating, and I don't mean any disrespect to the players. So I think you gave it their all and tried, but boy,
well, this year was different. That's for sure. I don't know if the European teams had their best teams in it. I'm not sure, but I would like to see Norberg in there.
I'm ready with a lot of suggestions for revamping, including maybe not having it. But
they're making some changes to the All-Star weekend there for the NHL. There, it looks like the skills competition.
Yeah, well, they need to revamp that kind. First of all, they got to forget about having players on the benches cheering. That's just a waste of everybody's time. And I don't know. I mean, the thing that bothers me, and I think I'm a bit of a soapbox here, but I think you got 8 hours of time for curling on a weekend. That's basically 8 hours of advertising. You got to make sure it's good, and before they do another one, they better make sure it's good.
Yeah, I agree with you there. They can probably do a few different things differently.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm available for suggestions if somebody calls from the WCF or the CCA. I don't know if they will, though. I think both Greg Stremla and Les Harrison are good guys, and we'll do good work. But anyways.
Yeah, they'll look at the results and make their suggestions. Or I think he's going to be revamping a lot of things in the future.
All right, Jeff, we finish. We finish. All right, Jeff. I give everybody at the end a chance to name their sponsors. So let me know who's behind you guys this year.
All right. Yeah, we're fortunate in Saskatchewan here. We've got a lot of supporters, some small and some bigger, but I'll just run through them real quick. Colony Coffee, my company, is a little supporter. Driving Force, Feral Agencies, Curl TV is a supporter of ours. Supreme Office Basics, Chardin Oilfield Construction, Lydale Disaster Cleanup and Construction, and finally Brigade from Syngenta Canada Farm Protection.
Farm Protection?
Yeah, they're a farm protection company.
Insurance company or what?
Crop protection kind of product, yeah.
And Curl TV now available free to all members of the United States Curling Association.
That is great. I heard about that in the works in the past, and that may even come in the future to Canada if they can make the right deals.
It was great right after I bought my membership.
Yeah. Well,
I was still waiting for Dave just to comp me, but that never happened. So.
You know what I was thinking? You should someone should interview you on your own show.
Well, yeah, maybe my goal, a small one, should be to like qualify in a spiel somewhere, so I'd have reason to be interviewed myself. But
yeah, but you're interesting enough, just what you're doing and for curling and where you came from and stuff. So that'd be a good interview someday.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that. I don't know if I'm that interesting, but nonetheless, I appreciate the compliment. Hey, thanks, Jeff. Thanks for your time, and good luck the rest of the season. Good luck at your Grand Slam in your hometown.
Well, thanks, Dean. You've been a good supporter of our team in the past, so I appreciate it, and have yourself a good New Year's.
That's Jeff Sharp on The Curling Show. After a bit of a lull in the major event curling schedule, as you might have guessed, I'm not counting the Continental Cup. I'm looking forward to the Capital One Grand Slam at the end of January. I hope other curling fans are too. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the pudding.
Every day you blend into the crowd, but in the silence of night, he's got a living